The universe doesn't fear metal armies. It fears what we hide in the trash. In the Korth sector, silence is the only law that still holds. I am Kaelen, a scavenger of electronic ghosts. Here, the sky is a radiation-burned wound, and the stars are merely reminders of ancient exiles. They say if you stay in the Silicon Desert long enough, the metal starts whispering forbidden secrets. I didn't believe it until today. A streak of blue plasma tore through the heavy atmosphere, bringing something that modern physics says is impossible. It wasn't an ordinary ship. The impact shifted dunes for miles, sending an echo that rattled the very foundations of my workshop. Curiosity is our lethal virus. I climbed into my rusted crawler, listening to the engine cough up stardust. I had to see what the Zenith Imperium tried to shoot down up there. In the center of the glass-scarred crater, the fuselage pulsed with a violet light that seemed to devour the darkness. Level 7 technology, pure and lethal. There was movement beneath the twisted iridium plates, a rhythmic sound like a mechanical heart struggling against a deathly short circuit. A figure emerged from the wreckage, not human, but mimicking our form with insulting perfection. Bioorganic armor that breathed smoke. The helmet dissolved into a mist of nanobots, revealing a face of terrifying beauty. Eyes that held the map of long-extinct galaxies. She tried to raise a singularity blade, but her systems collapsed. "Don't waste your last breath on me," I said. "I'm just the junk man." She growled in a binary dialect that made my brain implants bleed. She was dying, and her hunters were already ripping through subspace. I offered her a raw power cell from an old freighter. She hesitated. In the deep void, no one helps without claiming a tithe of blood. She drained the charge in seconds, and the glow in her chest stabilized. "My name is Lyra," she whispered, "and I am the end." I took her to my underground workshop, a sanctuary of scrap and transistors. Outside, the long-range radar began to howl in panic. 3 dreadnoughts of the Star Inquisition emerged from the acid clouds. They didn't come for rescue, they came to purge every shred of evidence. "They will turn this world to ash because of me," Lyra said, testing the weight of her blade. "Your race is too fragile, human." I smiled, calmly adjusting my welding goggles. "Fragile, yes, but we're experts at making expensive things stop working." I initiated the Iron Protocol. From the floor of the workshop, hundreds of obsolete mining drones woke with a metallic snap of ill will. I had reprogrammed plasma cutters to serve as assault cannons. Cargo bots now sported unstable, improvised fusion warheads. The first wave of Imperial soldiers descended in pods of light. Golden armor against my smart scrap. The desert became a slaughterhouse. Lyra moved like a photon ghost, slicing through enemy steel. I provided support with my railgun, picking off the weak points. We worked in an impossible synchronicity, the human hermit and the synthetic goddess. Organic chaos facing the mathematical order of the Star Inquisition. The orbital fleet fired. An antimatter beam collided with my improvised magnetic shield. The ground beneath us began to liquefy from the heat. That's when the vacuum opened again. Thousands of warp signatures. The synthetic resistance had tracked their leader's distress signal. The space battle was a massacre of light. The Inquisition, in its divine hubris, was surrounded by those they had tried to enslave for millennia. When the glass dust settled, a silver mothership descended silently. Monumental warriors knelt before the wounded woman in my workshop. "You saved the architect," their commander said, his voice like thunder. I just wiped the grease from my face. She was stepping on my roof. 3 days passed, and Korth was no longer a graveyard. It was the epicenter of a revolution. But me, I just wanted my coffee. Lyra walked into the workshop, her restored armor shining like a newborn star. "The real war is knocking at the door, Kaelen. The Empire is coming." I tapped my coffee synthesizer with a screwdriver. "Let them come. I have plenty of scrap and no patience for false gods." The news rippled through the nebulas. The invincible fleet had been repelled by a human and his trash toys. The myth of supremacy fell. Never underestimate what a human can do with spare parts and spite. We are the miscalculation that the war algorithms ignored. But the Zenith Imperium doesn't accept defeat easily. They sent advisor Valerius, a cold-blooded diplomat, to negotiate my surrender. Valerius landed with an escort of Praetorian guards. "Hand over the human and the rebel, and we will spare this solar system," he proclaimed coldly. I sipped my bitter coffee and looked at the sky. "You're on my turf, advisor, and here the laws of physics are suggestions." I activated the second stage of the protocol. The entire desert began to vibrate. I didn't just have drones. I had turned the planet itself into a trap. Gravity mines hidden beneath the sand detonated, pinning the diplomatic ships in a well of infinite mass. Valerius's panic was priceless. "This is an act of war," he screamed as his ship was crushed by the pressure. "No," I replied. "It's just high-end material recycling." Lyra watched it all with a grim smile. She understood that humanity wasn't weak, just uninterested in ruling others. "Why don't you join us?" she asked as she prepared her fleet for the final jump. "We could use your mind on the front lines." I looked at my workbench, at the smell of oil and ozone. "Someone needs to stay here to fix what you lot break out there." She nodded, a gesture of respect between warriors from different worlds. The Silver Fleet vanished into hyperspace, leaving Korth in peace. For now. The legend of the ghost mechanic grew. In asteroid taverns, they tell of the man who challenged the Zenith Imperium with a wrench. But the truth is simpler. The universe is a vast, broken mechanism, and we are the only ones not afraid to get our hands dirty. The coming war will be terrible. Stars will be extinguished, and civilizations will fall into oblivion. But the trash always remains. I prepared my next project, an orbital defense grid made from recycled warp engines. God's miscalculation is arming itself. The Zenith Imperium thinks it's the apex of existence. They forgot that the apex is just the highest point from which you can fall. I'm monitoring the radio signals. The void is whispering again. But this time, I know exactly what the stars are saying. They're saying the time of tyrants is over, and that the time of the scrapmakers has just begun. Prepare for imminent impact. If you feel the call of metal and the cold of the vacuum, your home is here. At the edge of everything known and dangerous. We aren't just spectators of the apocalypse. We are the architects who will build something new upon the ashes of what the Empire calls order. My workshop is open. The Iron Protocol is on standby. And I still have enough coffee to watch the universe burn and be reborn. The question isn't whether they're coming for us. The question is, what will they do when they realize we aren't the prey? We are the virus. Every piece of metal I weld is a nail in an emperor's coffin. Every drone I launch is a hymn to organic freedom. The Korth Desert holds many secrets, but the greatest is this. Humanity never forgets how to fight for its insignificance. While fleets move on the cosmic board, I keep tightening the screws. The detail is where the devil lives, and I know every single one of them. Lyra sends me coded signals every now and then, coordinates for new caches of dead gods' technology. She knows what I need, the synthetic resistance and the pariah humans, an alliance forged in oil and blood. The Zenith Imperium has never seen anything so beautiful and lethal. I look at the horizon and see the lights of new cities rising in the sand. Trash is becoming architecture. Chaos is becoming power. Don't be fooled by my isolation. I am connected to every hidden sensor in this galaxy. Nothing escapes the gaze of the lone mechanic. They tried to erase us from the star map. Now, we are the map. And every route leads directly to the fall of the Iridium throne. The next time the sky explodes, it won't be an accident. It will be the signal for the total awakening of the Iron Protocol on all worlds. Prepare your mind for immersion. Zenith Imperium is just the beginning of our journey through the most elegant shadows of science fiction. I see the warp trails approaching. Another Inquisitor fleet? Or just more scrap falling from the sky for my inventory? It doesn't matter. My rifle is loaded and my coffee is hot. Eternity is a very long time to spend without a good fight. The vacuum isn't empty. It's full of the promises we made before we were cast out of the Garden of Stars. And we are coming back to collect. Feel the weight of gravity. Hear the hum of the circuits. Feel the presence of something greater than simple survival. Feel the apex. If you survived this account, you are already part of our network. The transmission is secure, but your soul, that is at risk. Keep your eyes on the radar and your hands on the metal. The future doesn't belong to those who wait, but to those who dismantle the present. This is Zenith Imperium. Join our legion of observers. Like, subscribe, and activate proximity notifications. I am Kaelen, the Ghost Mechanic. See you in the next supernova. Until then, may your code never fail in the vacuum.